I just got a message from you, Hayden.
You did?
That's weird. Yeah.
What does it say?
Oh,
What, 2 mins?
Two
no, he
minutes.
wanted he just wanted me to remind everybody that it was the 30-year anniversary of the Vancouver Library opening, the iconic Vancouver
Ah,
Library. He
Don't
wanted me to
forget,
mention that, I guess.
you local
Yeah.
Vancouverites should have been celebrating.
Yeah, I was down there having a good old time. Were you?
Did you borrow a book out just for good old time's sake?
No,
Or
no.
you downloaded a Kindle file, didn't you?
No.
Justin was there
I
to
got a
burn
copy
books.
at yeah, exactly. I bought them and I burned them.
How's everyone's
So
week?
good, actually. I was just gonna ask you, Shao, do you have a like hot date after this or what?
No. You know what? You remember how I told you guys about the studio the other day? I'm still not done because I think there's 10 episodes. I think I'm 7 or 8 in, but they do have a lot of interesting talking points that I think we can one day revisit because it's like an ongoing thing, right? It just in terms of movies, there's one episode. Obviously, I'm not going to give too much away, but it's they in the perspective of the executives, they have this movie and they want to cast uh, a certain person to play a role, but someone's like, "Do you guys think this will cause an issue with the black community because this person, the role is very like stereotypically maybe the characters probably should be
Say
played
it.
by a black, whatever." And then, oh, you know what, you're right. And then so they instead they start recasting because they're afraid that there's gonna be backlash. And then when they do the recasting, they're like, oh, now it's like too diverse or whatever. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like these little changes, and the whole issue was just, I guess, catering to is it right to say sensitive the sensitive audience about how audience can misconstrue or look at it and be like, hey, you know what? Why is a cast, for example, all black but the director is white? That's not right. That kind of stuff. So that was kind of interesting to me. Just that kind of issue.
Yeah. I feel like you guys know how I feel about that stuff. I feel like we kind of talked about it, trying to cater too much to.
Yeah,
I think if you're, it's a fine line, right? Because you want the audience to watch, but also it's your film.
yeah,
And so from a
yeah.
creative point, that's where it's tough, right? Because in the studio, they're producers.
Mhm.
Um, and so they got to make business decisions, I guess, at the same time as creative ones. Whereas, if you're the director or the writer, you're kind of just, you maybe already see it or you don't see it, but when you do see it in casting, you're like, oh, that's what I want.
Hmm.
And so then to have somebody step in and be like, well, we need to change this role because we're trying to do X, Y, and Z with the film.
Yeah.
Um,
Guys, I need to pause for a little bit because I'm looking after a dog and he's upstairs and there's so much noise coming upstairs. So
But
I'll be right back. The dog just fucking broke a fucking drawer. I'll be right back.
good old dog. I almost got my junk bitten off by a dog today.
Holy smokes.
Not viciously. She is the resident pit bull Great Dane, so she's a little bit crazy, but she's a very very nice dog. Super smart, like scary smart.
Yeah.
But she plays tug of war so hard that she's missing half of her teeth. She's just got the big canines left.
Yeah.
So when she plays tug of war with you, she does this like little adjustment like bites to get a better grip on it. And of course, her head is at crutch height for me. So for all the ladies in the house, it's like stomach height, so they're okay. But
Yeah.
for me, it's like crutch height. And her owner, like pet parent, dad, same thing. But she was doing that, and she was like, she got my shorts, and I was like, oh, that was, I could feel that one pulling, not any skin, but it was pulling. And I was like, that was close. And she was just playing. It wasn't like she was literally like going for a bite. But
Yeah.
I was like, Ooh. The worst thing is that when she gets the toy and you play tug of war and then you let it go, she will whip it around like no one's business, like conditioning herself. But
All right, sorry, I'll deal with that after. But
bring it online. Let's see what it has to say.
It's okay. All you missed was Hayden's story about a dog just about biting his balls off. It was actually pretty good. It was,
At least it was a female
Excellent.
dog.
at least it was a female dog. Hey, how was your week?
My week? Well, it hasn't even been a full week since we last chatted, but the house in the back that I'm going to be moving into, God knows when, but pretty soon I hope, is coming along good. But we're getting it built by this fella who's 60-something years old. He works by himself. He's got a couple of buddies and all of these connections, so he's great. But he also is like, if you could do this for us, it would be fantastic. I'm like, aren't we paying you to do that?
Yeah.
But
Am I going to
anyway.
get money off?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's also saving us money if we do the tasks for him, so he doesn't have to put the labor into it. But anyway, we're getting like a concrete patio put out the back at the same time that they're going to pour the concrete. We may as well get them to put more concrete on the outside so that it saves us having to call someone back later on. Anyway, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here to fill in the story, but we went on, every now and then we get stuck in grooves of looking at Able Auctions, which is obviously an auction site, and they always have really cool stuff on there. But we got a bunch of yard equipment, essentially. So we've got a mini like digger and excavator digger thing, and we got this thing called a skid steer, which is like a bulldozer, but you just stand on the back of it, clear out dirt, level stuff. It's kind of fun to use once you know how to do it, and pick up the bucket and dig stuff. It's all kinds of fun. But the cool thing about it is it's got two little toggle switches. It's not like a steering wheel and like whatever. So it's like playing a video game, because you literally are holding the handles and you're like moving the little joysticks to go, you know. And it's like you're on a tank, so you can literally do 360 spins just in the spot if you wanted to.
That's amazing.
It's pretty fun. But the worst thing is that if there's pebbles or rocks and whatnot, it can get caught in the tracks and then it stops. So you have to get out there and dig it out and shit. Or if there's mud, which is what happened today or last night. So I was digging and then it must have just like flooded the tracks, and it was one side wasn't working. So literally I'm just going back and forth. It's like far out. Anyway, they came today and they decided that today was the day that they were like, oh, we're going to lay the whatever for the, you know, the markings for the patio concreting. I was like, can you just move the skid steer out of the way so we can like get that last little bit? And I'm like, ugh. And of course it was pissing with rain this morning. So I'm out there in a raincoat, in the mud, digging out the tracks, and Alex is out there as well, in a freaking flip-flops, in the pouring rain mud. Not the worst thing, the builder was there in like brand new white trainers, just standing in the mud like he didn't care. I was like, yeah, I think you chose the wrong shoes to be wearing for digging mud today. But anyway, got it free, got it moved out of the way. But the whole point of my story is that I was like, this leads exactly what I was talking about to you guys about what I wanted to discuss for the first topic, which is whatever it was. I've already lost my thought.
Oh, good God.
The real
all
life.
that fucking lead up to
All
this
that
moment.
build-up.
Good
Priceless.
fucking God. Holy shit.
You ever thought that
And
maybe
you're-
I do it
and
on
this
purpose?
is your topic, Hayden.
I
This is
know.
your
Okay.
topic.
It's the
Okay,
real
here we
life
go.
It's the real life application of video games.
Let me drag this story out as long as I can and really just fucking build it up.
Okay.
What was I
Up
gonna
and up
talk
and up
about
and
again?
up.
I see where you're going with it, Hayden. The execution was a horrible mess, but I like it. Keep going. Okay.
Keep going.
Joysticks.
Have you ever thought
your
that
excavator,
maybe
and all that stuff.
maybe I did it on purpose, like a.
No.
No. Well, I could
absolutely not.
argue that, because I did mention that it was like playing a video game before I continued on with the bad storytelling. But anyway, yeah. So it was to segue from one real life situation to another situation. I was sitting watching Netflix, and everybody does it, and I don't know why we do it, but we all have a watch list of things that we want to watch. Obviously, that's what it's there for. But at the same time, we still scroll through the previews of new programs to see if there's anything we want to watch. I'm like,
Whoa.
unless-
Not to see if there's anything we want to watch, to see if there's anything else we want to add to our watch list.
Yes.
Because you don't just watch the first thing you go, ooh, I like that. It's I might want to watch that later.
Mm-hmm.
The old Netflix trap.
So
I don't know why I do that. I have a huge watch list, and then I'll scroll. I'll see, oh, Netflix just added these new things, and then I'll see something. Ooh, that looks good, and I'll play that, and I'll just it gets bumped all the way up to the top, and everything keeps adding.
Can you remember the last thing you actually went and watched off your watch list?
Oh my God, very good question. And no, I can't. I actually can't.
I can't remember specifically what it was, but it was something I had already watched. I was like, that's why I just rewatched it.
Very good.
What about you, Hayden? Can you think of last time you watched something off your watch list?
Like a brand new thing, or because I have watched a couple of things that were ongoing series, like Cobra Kai was on my watch list. Like brand
new. Put it on there.
And then went and watched it. Oh, that is a good question. I didn't actually
rewatched.
I recently added Outlander because I wanted to watch it, but I didn't know if Alex was into it. And then she started watching it without me. And then she's like, she was like, do you want to watch Outlander? And I was like, yeah, I added it to our watch list like a couple of weeks ago. And she's like, oh shit. She's like, I kind of started watching it. And I was like,
oh no,
I was like,
Alex.
It's like she didn't know because I usually add shows when she's asleep. I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'll add that and I'll add that. I just add. So I didn't care because she's more than happy to watch things again. Like she started watching like 1883 and all of the sequel, prequel shows of it. She went through all of those and she's like, do you want to watch it? I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. And she's like, cool, I'll watch it again. So I don't care that she's watching it. Like if she enjoys it, why not? Because she indulges me with the shows that I watch. But I think that was the most recent one. So I'm not mad. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, if I watch it, you just have to
sense
answer.
Some sort of like
bitterness.
Like, there's a lot of.
Yeah, he's.
I just preface it by going, you're going to have to answer a lot of questions if that's our interesting.
Is that really why she was out there in the rain digging in her flip flops? Is because you fucking hit all her shoes that morning? Like, oh, watch out, man. I'm going to fucking hide your work boots. I'll leave your flip flops.
No, she doesn't wear toed shoes very often. She's just like sandals or flip flops. She just like throws them on. Goes
do you have a physical watch list? Do you guys type it out or write it out?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Who what?
You put a score on it and it aggregates everything? No, I don't have anything like that. I'm guessing that's what you have.
Like
you're like,
I
don't want digital one-on-one.
I don't think
copy.
No, just because my girlfriend and I have a list. I think she started a list of just to add all the stuff that we should watch. This. I don't think I ever looked at it. But yeah, we have a list just because if not, I feel like we'll just keep adding to it. Keep adding to it and stuff like that, which then it just gets buried. So we have a watch list and a to die list, which is a list of things we want to watch, but we'll probably never go watch.
You'll die before you watch it
because we have too much on our list now. And
how do you decide then what goes on to the to die list?
It's just a matter of the level of interest. It's like, I heard this is good,
or maybe even like
put it on the list. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's more of a maybe list,
or something like along the lines of, it's not easily accessible. Like you'd have to pack up, go see if it's at the library, sign it out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather die before I go to the library.
that's pretty much.
Or just okay.
You'd rather die. I don't think that's the point of a to die list. That sounds like I would avoid watching these shows. I'd rather die than watch these shows. That's a good list to do as well. These are shows I'm never going to watch.
I'd rather die.
But anyway, we sidetracked a little bit. But one of the previews that came rolling on over on the Netflix screen was the Gran Turismo film. And at the time when that came out in cinemas, however many years ago, a couple of years ago, I was like, how are they, like, really? They're making a video game movie about Gran Turismo? I was like, are they really scraping the barrel for ideas in Hollywood? And I was talking to my brother about it, and he's like, no. It's about this guy who actually was so good at the game that he went to some, like, the Gran Turismo Academy or whatever it was, and the winner of that gets to be on an actual racing team in real life. And I was like, oh shit, like that's an actual thing. So that would actually kind of be kind of cool to see. And then it got me to thinking, and I was like, what some
Take
of
your time.
you know oh, don't worry, I will. You're supposed to
what I was
let
gonna
me
say.
take my time instead of jumping in. Because that just gets you another 30 seconds of jibber jabber. But anyway, I was like, okay, I'm going to pitch this to the boys. Like, what is something that has a real world application from playing video games to a degree where you become so good? What could you transition that skill into real life? And I thought, obviously, car racing is one because there's been several of them that have done it. And I think that in my brain, that is probably the easiest one to physically get really good at,
Right.
and then apply it to a real life scenario, because you can get this, the steering wheel and the gear shifters and all of those rigs and all that crap, and go. But I was interested in what you guys thought were some things that you could see a real world application from a game perspective.
Well, just on your Gran Turismo, you know, topic. My dad is an avid Gran Turismo player. Started Gran Turismo 1 on PlayStation, and then he's gotten everything all the way to GT7. And as Justin, as you know, our basement has the rig, the steering wheel, the pedals, the seats, and everything. We us siblings got it for him one time for Christmas or his birthday or something like that, several years ago, and he still plays a lot. And growing up, I was very lucky to have my older brother. Just, I think we talked about this, where he was able to get a lot of games, and my dad was always okay with us playing video games. I know a lot of friends growing up, they would come over just because they can play, versus if they're at home, their parents won't let them play. They would let them say, you would say, do your homework first or whatever. But my dad was always a big advocate on saying games like that can help children's motor skills and stuff like that. And there have been studies that kind of prove that. And he's a neurologist, so he deals with a lot of doing Botox for people's TMJ issues or twitching and stuff like that. So he needs steady hands and good, I don't know, I guess motor skills. And so for him, that's a direct correlation of, I would say him being obsessed with a racing game like that can, maybe help him with his fine motor skills. Justin, can you think of anything what did you play growing up again, Justin? Or what's a game that you were addicted to again? Like you were talking about last time about something like was it Fallout? No, it wasn't Fallout.
No, I played a lot of Halo growing up.
Halo. Yeah.
Halo was the first one, but I hate this question, Hayden, actually.
Yeah.
But I'll play
I
along.
didn't ask the question. Shall ask the question.
No, your original topic. I hate the whole thing. It's so. Anyways, no, I'm kidding.
No, good.
You know,
That's the whole point
I
of
wanted to have
debate.
fun with this
Debate.
because I played a lot of, sports. More for the last more recent years, I played a lot of Chell, a lot of Madden, a little bit of the MLB, not so much NBA.
Heaps of FIFA, right? Tons of FIFA.
No. Sports, Hayden, sports. And
The
so
world game. The world game.
one of the best parts of those games, or my favorite part of those games, was the GM mode, building the team. I'd usually try and pick a team that had either a strong offense and a weak defense, or a strong defense, a weak offense. And then I'd blow the team up and rebuild it and collect assets, try and trade good people. Like you can kind of scam the game a bit to get top draft picks. Anyway, so I always liked that. That would be kind of fun to see. And you're working within salary caps and one-way contracts, two-way contracts, owning the rights to different players, waivers, all sorts of stuff. So you kind of really learn more about the business side of the sport, which is good.
Question.
Yeah.
Off of that, because I've heard a lot of no, I shouldn't say I heard a lot, but I've heard some athletes who, NBA athletes who play NBA, they said they've learned a lot from playing the, NBA 2K or whatever, and learned plays that they never thought of before. For
Yes.
you
So
doing GM mode, did you take anything away from it to put into your coaching world life?
maybe not so much. I mean, maybe some wheel and dealing because I do trades at the beginning of my season. I am allowed to do that. But um, from a coaching point, maybe like one setup because also in those games, specifically related to Chell, you can pick you can build your lines out in a certain way and you can pick how you want them to start each face off. You can pick what offensive zone play setup you want them to set up in the ozone. You can set up how you want to the play positionally, how you want them to play in the defensive zone. You can set up
Ozone, by the way, Hayden means offensive zone. Anyway, sorry.
yes inside the
He
blues
looks
where you're
lost.
attacking.
I'm like, what is this chat?
Defensively, yeah, you can set up the amount of pressure you want, what kind of forecheck you to do. If you want to do a 1-2-2, a 1-2, or a 2-1-2 strong, a
I
1
feel like
1.
I feel like Justin would always just immediately when you start the matches go overload offense. That's what I used to do. I do
So
all offense. Oh, sorry.
I used to do a lot of overload, and actually it's a simple enough drill. That's what I coach my kids to set up in real hockey is, but I teach that more for on the power play. But no, I like the behind the net because I
Mm.
like to work low to high, high to low. That's sort of my offensive strategy that I like. But yeah, so you can really go into all, you don't have to do all that, but you can really go into all the nitty gritty stuff. You can set up your lines in a way because certain players will have more chemistry with other players because they like to play the same way. And if you set up that line to be a checking line, that's hard on the forecheck, always plays aggressive, full out, blue to blue, breakouts, leave zone early. So you can kind of tweak all those things. So I do get a little, I mean, I can translate it a little bit to real world in that I do coach hockey. But obviously, coaching NHL players or doing plays for NHL players is a lot different for doing kids at the U13 level. But there are some things that can translate. But I
Mhm.
think if I had to pick one game that I would really want, Hayden, of the skills that I have learned playing to translate into real world, what I think I've maybe got the most is Grand Theft Auto. And I would just really love to just hit that fuck it stage and just go GTA.
Like run over nuns.
No, like,
Nuns
nuns.
Yeah,
on Sunday
isn't
in
it the
service.
first GTA or whatever? Back in the first GTA or second GTA where it's like a bird's eye view, Grand Theft Auto, when you're driving around, there would be a row of people, and if you hit them all, you would get a bonus. I thought they were all nuns, but it just could be
You
my
just
I
head.
want
mean, if they weren't, they should have been. Um, no, but yeah, I think honestly, from one that I've played the most, it would definitely be uh, GM mode in hockey, and because there
That
is a
makes
little
sense
bit
though.
of the coaching involved in that, because like I said, you can do those things, and I do like to translate some of that stuff into real world.
yeah.
Right, right. Well, I think Hayden would. He's really good at shuffle puck because he grew up playing Pong, because that's one.
Yeah,
That was
Totally
a game
different
that was.
game. Shufflepuck is not at all like Pong.
What would Pong be? What would if you if you're an avid Pong player? How would that
It would probably be
be
closer
utilized in?
to air hockey, I feel.
yeah,
Air
I can
hockey,
give you that.
because it's the
Yeah,
same paddle motion, quick
Yeah, sure.
reflexes.
I
Shuffleboard, you're
mean,
not playing
in
against.
all honesty, that's actually what I meant, but that's just because
You're an old man on a
I'm
cruise ship.
ESL. Yeah,
is
yeah.
that really what you meant? Is that what you call shuffle puck?
No, I think I think there's another. I can't remember.
Can we get
Shuffle
our
puck. What's
research
shuffle
team on
puck?
shuffle puck?
Yeah.
Where's
Where's
Dre?
Dre? Um, Oh, there she is.
While Shao looks that
Ian,
up.
what's one for you?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, you're dabbling in like the GM mode of Chell. I was
Yeah,
like,
thanks for getting it right.
I didn't even think of this until just now. But there's actually he plays he's a coach for or a manager for an EFL team, an ex-Premier League team called Southampton. His name is Will Still. I had to look it up, but he literally is the manager of a professional sports team now, a football team, soccer team, where he got his start from playing Football Manager. So he was literally playing the video game and got good enough at it that a professional team was like, "Yep, this is the guy to bring us back into the top flight of English football." But they're still in the championship, which is the second division. But still,
Good.
I
That's
was
for
like,
Rexits and champions now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Our Rens.
Sorry. Oh yeah, Dre came back with the information. So I said Shuffle Puck because Shuffle Puck actually was a video game. It's called Shuffle Puck Cafe. Is an air hockey video game that was developed a long time ago for the Macintosh.
I'm pretty sure you said shuffleboard though.
Transfer to another video game.
I think Shuffle Puck. And
It's
then
different.
you think I said shuffleboard, which makes sense. That has no correlation.
Yeah.
So
It'd be good to listen to the playback on that one. I was like, I swear you said, I'm not
You
some
can cut it
old
out.
man on a ship. I will get back to you, Justin. I've got some questions that I would like to know about your level of gaming knowledge on GTA that you would apply to real world skills. But very quickly for me, before I throw it to you, Shao, that there was a time when I was very heavily involved in the soccer community in my hometown in Canberra. So I know you guys love me talking about soccer, so I'm going to talk more about it because I know you love it so much. So I'll be so riveting that Justin will definitely have a very sound sleep. So every year I would play outdoor, and then every off season you would play futsal or indoor. That's what we as a team did, and that's how our skill set developed to a certain level, because it was a lot, field time versus then technical in the off season doing futsal. But anyway, there was this one time in Canberra, they hosted this big international futsal tournament, but they built an outdoor stadium. So it technically wasn't indoor soccer, it was futsal sized field, played outdoors. But there was teams from all over the world that came, and we were academy players or something, so they asked us to come and be ball kids for it. But there was the Japanese team there, and I was fascinated by the Japanese at the time, because I think I was it was the language that I was learning at school.
Oh.
And Justin was massaging balls, so I was like, I've got to go be a part of this. So we went there and we're watching all these games, and then the Japanese head coach, he was like, if I've got all these little Japanese flag pins. So I was like, I've got to get this pin because it's like a memento from an international team, and that was a big deal for a young, sports athlete to be around international players. And I was like, I've got to get one of these pins. And he's like, the only way you can get one of these pins, he said it.
He did not sound like that, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
I was going to say, he said it in exactly like an Australian English. To get one of these pins, you have to beat me at, what did you say? Janken pon, or rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm down. I got this, because I used to play a lot of Alex Kidd, where the boss levels. I didn't really, but this is where I'm making the connection, because I knew Shao would love it. Alex Kidd, to beat the bosses, you would play rock, paper, scissors. And if you could beat the bosses, you obviously progressed. So I got
Don't
good
try and
enough.
tell me that you got
Oh.
skill in rock, paper, scissors.
I didn't
There's
say
no
it was a
fucking
real
skill
thing.
in rock.
The whole point of this discussion was, what could I have used it? So I'm making the leap that this is how I got so good. And I beat
love it.
the head coach. And you can't say that it was he let me win, because it's literally a game of chance. He doesn't know what you're going to do unless he's, so quick that he can see you do rock and then he'll go scissors.
Oh, was it a one and done, or was it a best?
It was
two
a
out
best of three. Yeah, it was a best
Okay.
2 out of 3.
Because
So-
don't say is not all up to chance. Don't tell that to professional RPS players, because there is a league. I don't know if you've seen the Conan episode of where he interviews a RPS champion. There are names like all I remember, because this is 20 years ago. You can look this online, Hayden. I'll send you a link later. But if you plan in your head to do rock 3 in a row, they call it rock paper or something like that. If you plan that, it's called fistful of dollars or something like that. They have the names for the combinations and stuff like that. So it's very mental, I think, which I think it's true, because there's certain times where you play rock paper scissors. I'll tell you, I'm gonna do scissors.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
love
do
doing
scissors
that.
next. If you do that, do you go with it, or do you psych them out, or do you just do
No,
random?
always. I'll always say I always go rock. I always go rock.
I know,
And then
I'm a
I'll
rock
always
guy
go
too.
rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you win, and sometimes they don't take the bait.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember what you used, Hayden, to
I
to
don't
win?
know.
Do you remember?
I was just gonna say. I think that's the only way to beat lesbians, Justin, is to always go rock.
What?
Because rock beats scissors.
Ah, I see.
I'm glad I did that right when you were inhaling.
Clip
Yeah.
It was
That's
the
a good
worst. That was like the worst butcher of that joke that I've heard. But I'm glad it cut something. But no, I don't
sorry, I
remember.
interrupted
was
you. Go
like,
ahead, Hayden.
I was like 9 or 10 or something. I can't remember what I did. But
So you got the
he
pin.
won.
Congratulations.
I won one, and then he won the second one. I remember that, and then I won the third one. So it was down to the third one. But I got the pin, and it must have been in like '98, because I remember I had all of the France '98 World Cup pins. From all
So
of the
early
teams.
20s?
Yeah, in my early 20s.
Okay, so after you won, he says, "Oh, congratulations!" And then what happened after that?
Oh,
Why, thank you very much. I always wanted a pin from our Japanese national football team.
Oh, I sound a bit like from New Zealand there. Oh, right out in the bush.
Shao, let's play it out. Let's play it out. Let's play it out. Okay.
Yeah, I've been like the commentator
You're
of
the
this game.
Japanese. You're the Japanese.
Well, obviously.
No,
national
I want you
coach.
to be the Japanese coach, Justin.
Hey, coach, I've always wanted one of those pins. Can I have one of those pins, Ruda?
Oh, who are you? You want these? You want these pin?
Yes, I want the pins. You fucking cunt.
Oh, language. Oh, no. If you want this pin, you must pray me for it.
I'll beat you at football. I've been playing football since
No,
I was...
no football.
Oh,
Ro-
What do you want?
rock, paper, scissors, or as I call it, Rochambeau.
Oh, you won't. All right, rock, paper, scissors. Okay. Okay.
One question first. Where are you from? Interesting accent.
Canberra. Bruh. Canberra.
Disgusting. Okay, let's start. Best 2 out of 3.
All right, but I have to. I before we go, I have to tell you, I always go rock.
Oh, interesting strategy. Okay, if you go rock, I shall go paper.
We shall see.
Rochambeau. Oh, you do rock.
Oh.
Very nice rock.
Looks like you fell for the double pull. I don't know what my accent is happening. I don't know what. I don't know.
Okay, round 2. You are up 1, young sir. Rochambeau.
Oh.
The paper, you have a roku. Okay, last round. Rochambeau.
Oh, I told you 3 rocks in a row, bitch. Give me the pin.
Yes,
Mom!
you have
Hey,
defeated.
Mom, I got the pin. I
You have
beat his
defeated Sensei.
ass.
The pin is yours. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then
Now
he
bow.
throws a thing on the ground, and then there's smoke, and he disappears.
Yep. Is that how it was, Hayden? Kind of like that?
That's exactly how it was. It was like a real life anime played out. There was a commentator there, fans, and smoke.
Amazing.
No.
Do you still have the pin, Hayden?
I hope so. It's in storage with all my Pokemon cards back home somewhere. All of
Well, that pin might be
my
worth a lot.
belongings of my life that I hadn't seen for 10 years because I was over here, they're gone. My mum sold the house, moved to a different state, put my stuff in storage, thankfully. She didn't just, sell it or throw it out. Or my brother siphoned it, pilfered it somewhere. I'm sure that memorabilia, I think it was like McDonald's Happy Meal France 98 memorabilia. So, worth lots.
Oh, those can be worth a lot. A lot of the McDonald's Happy Meal toys, I think some of them can be actually worth a good penny.
Hold that thought.
That's a crisp weasel right there. That's a crisp one.
Sorry, boys. Go ahead. Hayden, we did rudely cut Hayden off, though. He was...
Yeah. Please finish what,
Yeah, go ahead, Hayden. Just finish.
So, you guys played out a very true to real life scenario of how things went down. So I don't really have to tell you that part of the story. But I did win the pin, and I do thank my skills at rock, paper, scissors to Alex Kidd. That man, that Sega character, he taught me all I knew.
about rock, paper,
Whenever you
scissors?
say Alex Kidd, I think of your fiance Alex, and when you say Alex Kidd, it confuses me.
Okay.
I had that
Kid.
split second of that when you said Alex Kidd or
She's
whatever.
not
but
that much younger than me.
No,
Enough
not
to
that
raise an
she's the
eyebrow.
kid, Hayden. That's weird, man. Don't make this fucking weird, dude. What the hell?
Don't
Her
make
kid
it
is
weird? You mean
Alex.
don't make it more weird? You gave me a line and I chose what side to go on it because you're always harping on me about don't be on the fence.
That's
Make
true.
things less weird or more weird is the quote.
I love it.
You've learned. Well, I mean, so for me, there are two games in the last 10 years that I've played too much, honestly. There's one called Monster Hunter, where I played over close to 2,000 hours. But that has really no real life kind of connotation or connection, because that all you do is grind and kill monsters and make better weapons and gear to kill
How does
stronger
grinding
monsters.
on a monster kill them?
You wear,
can you
you wear
explain
it
that?
out. You just wear them out after a long time. There's a lot of chafing and erosion.
Do you
and
get
all that
some good
stuff,
monies
a lot
for
of
it?
bleeding.
And also, you don't know that won't be applicable. Maybe it's not applicable now, but maybe when the zombie monster apocalypse happens, all your grinding will pay off.
It's like, don't eat me.
True.
I'll grind
After we
on
kill
ya.
the zombies, then I'll maybe know how to, take zombie parts and make better armor and weapons out of them. No, but there's another game which I played on VR called Population 1, and it's a team game with two other guys. So you're in team of 3, and essentially it's like what's it called? Fortnite or PUBG, a battle royale thing, but you're in teams of 3. And then I think there's 20 something players, and I played so much of it. My two friends and I were globally ranked for top 20 in globals, and we entered tournaments and stuff like that. But this is not, obviously I don't,
Child's going to war.
yeah.
Child's going to
I'm
war.
In VR.
I'm not
mode.
good with, because there's different types of players who like to rush, who like to just go head in and head first rather, and just fucking tear shit up, and be good with close combat stuff, and you have to be really quick with the reloads and the shotguns, etc., etc. I'm more of like a mid-range guy, and we have another guy who's a really good sniper. So we have like a good setup.
Are you the
But
kind of player
I
that
think
like
that-
jumps so they can't shoot you?
You can't jump
Everybody
in that game. You
hates
can
those
duck.
people.
You
Or
can
the
be
person
that
that ducks, yeah.
Yeah.
The slide guy running.
The slide guy.
slide.
But the main thing I took away from that is the importance of, when you're doing a team sport or team whatever, just the importance of communication. Even when you don't think it's important to say something, if you two are out there fighting something and I have to go back here and gather more ammo and reload or whatever, saying all that stuff, it's still valuable information for you guys to know. Okay, Shao might take another 10 seconds to do that, and then you might say, oh, get more sniper ammo, I'm low. The communication stuff, that's obviously really not a great example, because that's crucial information you should tell your teammates. But it's because we lost a few games with people just assuming that we would know what they're doing or whatever, right? But that's kind of the main takeaway that I can think of right now when it comes to games teaching me something I can use in real life.
I was gonna say,
Communication.
yeah, it would be a really good one.
Yeah, fuck.
Especially if
Absolutely.
you're on a radio. Like, many things are completed successfully because of successful radio talk. Like, if you got good radio communication in the cops, so much better than not knowing what's going on. Military, airplanes, all that shit. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I see how Xiao's skills could transfer. But Justin, I want to dig back further more into your GTA skills. Are you like,
Yeah.
you're really good
Okay,
at
'cause
stealing
there's
cars,
another-
you're really good at going to strip clubs, you're really good at,
Yeah. I've done all of them.
All right.
I've literally done both those. Run
How
through
about
some
us?
more. Well, no, I can't just free willy. Just
Yeah, you can. You just
one-
unzip and...
I'm free willy right now, baby.
That's
game
why he
that I'm
hasn't
really-
stood up yet.
One game that actually I'm grinding so hard right now, and I grinded it for a lot before, and then I stopped, got back into Chow, was grinding Chow. Now I'm back into this. Is Rocket League, and Rocket League, I've seen like clips on social medias of like real life Rocket League, but it's just obviously cars can't hop and don't have turbo boosts that they can use to fly.
Hold on,
So it's
does
a bit
Hayden know what
different.
Rocket League is?
No, I was just going to say, like, what's
No.
Rocket League?
It's like
I can look it up while you talk, but for those at home
it's
that
like
don't know.
yeah, it's like soccer with cars.
Oh, yes, I do
you
know
can do-
that.
1-on-1,
Yeah.
2-on-2, 3-on-3, and you drive around. You can pick up boosts. You're in an arena and you can fly, but the it's like a caged arena, so you can drive up the walls or drive on the ceiling. But when you get better, what you can do is if you can jump, and when you jump and you're in the air, you hold boost. You can actually fly your vehicle. So when the ball's up in the air, when people get really good, you go up there and you can fly, and you're playing balls in the air. Like, there's some really good Rocket League players, but that's one that I've been grinding really hard. That would be, and it's really funny actually, because I was talking about this with James just a few days ago about being able, because he's starting to get into it now and getting better, and talking about playing it in real life. It's like, man, if there's a safe way you could do that, that would be really fun. But I don't know how, because sometimes you're out there flying and then you run out of boost and you come crashing down and you land on the roof of your vehicle and then you got to flip back over. It's like, it might be a bit dangerous. But that would be a really fun one. I'd love to apply my skills to that. But as far as GTA 6, no, I think, okay, real talk. There was a time in my life where I thought I was invincible. I thought, starting to toy with doing some not so good things, and things always worked out in my favor, and like almost too well, freakishly well. And it got to a point where I started really kind of going down a not so good path, and I thought I was invincible. And so I think, if it was a world like Westworld, say, where you can go in and there's no consequence, because obviously I don't really want to hurt anybody, like real people. Well, I take that back. There are people that I do really want to hurt, but I mean, like the average person, I don't want to hurt. I don't want to steal from them. I don't want to, be destructive to the innocent. But if there's a place like Westworld where you could go and you kind of like plug in, and it is like real life, but they're not actual humans, they're kind of like AI robots, I would love to apply some of those skills of like working in teams to pull off a heist, or like, okay, got to meet here, we got to steal this vehicle, drive to this point, mask up, suit up, this is the security system, okay, come up with the plan. And we've talked about this before when we talked about heist movies, is like that idea of planning a heist and then executing it and then getting away from the police. Like that, to me, I would love. And it all comes down to the planning. It's all about planning. And that's one thing that I learned when I was in that part of my life, was the actual event usually doesn't take long.
Yeah.
What takes the time is planning before, the pre-plan, thinking about what can go wrong, knowing not just if there's cameras or potential witnesses in that area, but a block away, 2 blocks away, are there cameras that might pick you up? What are you wearing at the time in case there is? Like there was times when we went to do some gnarly stuff and I would like change my body size so that if I was identified or somebody saw me and they gave a description, I would not match that description. And I would get rid of clothing. I would have stuff would be worn for specific events. I'd do it, gone. Because and we're not like grand masters, but I still didn't want to get caught, It's like I still didn't want to have to deal with the consequences if I got caught. So I always took precautions. So I think that's how you can kind of plan. Now GTA is a little bit different because you can just go and,
retry the mission.
I was gonna say, or one of the funnest things in GTA is like, okay, I'm gonna see how many stars I can get and see if I can get the military on me and see how long I can like fight the military when they got helicopters and fucking SWAT coming at you and all sorts of stuff and you're hiding in corners with rocket launchers. Like that's obviously the extreme end of it, but the just sort of the planning and executing of pulling off heists is very appealing to me, and it always was, and it was from a young age. And then yeah, I had that rude awakening, and I was like, whoa, no, I don't like this part of it, and I don't like the person I am when I'm or the person I'm becoming, I guess.
Right.
Hearing you talk like that, Justin, about that specific time period of your life made me think. I was like, because you might not see it yourself. I mean, but then again, you might, because you're yourself, obviously. But from an outside person, that level of coordination that you like, and not control, but control of a situation, I see that when we've done projects together, like to bring it back to our creative sides of how we first met, and when we started doing things after film school, we were very collaborative on how we would produce stuff, and knowing the ins and outs. That's why I really like producing things with you, because I know a certain level of stuff, but then your brain clicks in and takes it up a notch, and I'm like, I didn't even think of that, didn't even think of that. Coordinated, which is why the dynamic of the two of us, sorry Shao, you'll get in there one time, worked so well. Next one works so well, because I was like, I see a real life application of the, for lack of a better word, quote unquote, obsessiveness of structure from a game into your real life, and then you did a 180 and you switched from the trajectory that you were going in into another avenue. You've reapplied that same area of your brain to another thing. That's what I've seen. I don't know if you've seen it yourself, but that's what I see. And it's really cool. It's to hear you talk about it in a scenario that you don't feel is real. And then I'm like, no, like this stuff, like real world applications, which is what I was always like, this is why I was thinking of this topic, was because it's like, we might not always see it. And yeah, my one specifically was a little far-fetched, but if you can sell it, you can sell it as something that had a real world application. But yours is much more sellable than mine. So it's good. It's cool to see. Like, that's what I'm curious about, like the future of where, not necessarily video games, but I guess simulations will take people's training in specific avenues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I've thought about it too, where because VR as well is still, I would say it's still very in its infancy stage. I think in the next 10 years I think that it's still right now, if you, for example, if you get the Quest 3 or the whatever the Apple one is, that's like $1 billion that I can't afford. If you play video games in that, it's still, there's certain times it feels very real. there are certain things there, even at the very beginning when it first came out, even if the graphics aren't great, there's a game, you might have seen some of these clips online where maybe older people would try them, and it's a game where it's not even a game, it's more like a simulation that shows what it's capable of, what the system is capable of, and you take an elevator to the 100th floor or something like that. The elevator door opens and you walk a plank
Oh,
and you
yeah.
look down, and there are some people who like literally just fall and they can't get their balance or whatever. The vertigo, is that what it's called? The vertigo, the
Yeah.
feeling you of vertigo. And there's, motion sickness and all that stuff. So I can't even imagine where it would go, because even now there's a game, there was a Gran Turismo VR game where I tried, and it does feel and look very real, especially if you put on other specific or better sound systems that have kind of the 360 sound thing, very clear. And I heard they're trying to add smells into games now, which would be
So
interesting.
I was just gonna say, ask this question actually, because as you're talking that, like, you're like, feels real, people think it's real. It's like, what is
Yeah.
real? See it, touch it, smell it, taste it, right?
Yeah, all the senses, right?
All the senses. So if you can play a game and you can trick your mind into believing it's real, does it become real? Because if you can see it, you can smell it, you can taste it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
yeah,
you don't wanna
there are
taste the
also
GTA game, but
like haptic vests you can wear. And if you're playing a game like Population One, though, when I played, if you shoot someone in the chest, they can feel a little poke in the chest, right?
that's cool.
So that's another element to add reality to it. But of course, it will never be, you shoot someone and they die. You know what I mean? So there's that reality of it.
That comment might come back to haunt you one day. Hey, Chow.
I know that's true, because I heard there's a developer somewhere in Europe that made a game where he wants to make a game or made a game that you can actually die if you lose, which
Who would want to play that? But that
I
kind
feel like there would
you'd
be some.
surprised.
That'd be
I know,
something
I feel like
I
there-
could totally
yeah.
beat
It should
this
be
game.
It should be a prison sentence. You know what I mean?
If you
Okay.
can beat the game, you get your freedom.
Yeah. Or you die.
But with all that being said about how real it can get and how it look and smell and et cetera, I feel like it's an amazing learning tool. And I always thought that if there was a game that's sort of like the Magic School Bus, let's say, where you can shrink down into a microscopic level and go into Ralphie's fucking blood vessels or whatever, and you can see how all that stuff works, I think that's
Great
really interesting.
episode. Great episode.
Great episode.
Great.
Or something
When
like if
they
you
did
go.
the, and yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say, or something if you can go like ant size and you can explore ant tunnels or termite mounds or whatever, that kind of stuff. I think that I would play that kind of stuff because I'm like fascinated with that sort of stuff. So I feel like in the future with VR, there's more things you can apply to real life that can actually be very beneficial in terms of education, surgery games or something like that, or surgery simulations. I think that would be insane.
Operation. But
Yeah.
But real
Like-
life.
Yeah, take out the funny bone and you get shot. That kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where all this is going. It's still not there yet, but there's definitely potential, and it's kind of scary once I think about it. Because then after that, okay, yeah, then what's next?
Well, then you fully plug in.
Yeah, you
Ready
get
Player
all
One.
Black Mirror and shit.
Yeah.
Well, that quickly goes back to Justin. You saying what becomes real, and then Xiao, sorry, you could die in the game. Like if your brain, I don't know if it's true or not, but they say if you die in a dream, you die in real life, because when we fall in a dream, we don't ever impact. We wake up, right?
Oh, I
I've
see what you
been
mean, yeah.
stabbed multiple times in dreams, so
But you haven't died because you probably woke up.
it's true. I never die. I never
Can you-
die in
Can you feel pain in dreams?
I don't know.
You know what's the worst part about dreams? Is that when you get to a certain age, you stop being able to orgasm. And that's the worst, Like, have you ever been having a really good sex dream, like a really good one, and you're like, and it's coming, and it's like you feel like you're like, oh my god, but then you just can't.
or
Can't
when
say
you're
that's
in
happened
you're
to
in a
me.
dream,
Sorry. That's those are my nightmares. Like, no, come on.
I also don't like it when you're dreaming and you're fighting someone. It feels when you throw a punch, it feels like you're punching underwater. It's like you're never punching at the speed that you want it to. Well, that's for
Well,
me
on the
anyway. Or when
topic
you're
of-
running away from something, you're just like
You're
you're
running
running
in
as fast as you
yeah.
can, but you're not running anywhere.
what's your? Because I have a recurring, and I don't even want to call it a nightmare because it's not scary in a sense, but it's something. I mean, I used to have a recurring nightmare as a child, which I should talk to somebody about because I wonder what it means. But as I'm older now, I'll every once in a while get it's the same dream, not necessarily to a T, but the theme or whatever is the same. So I'll I'll be looking for something. Sometimes it's in a locker. I'm at a school. I know it's my locker. I can't find my locker. And every time it's never it's never there. And that's my recurring dream. I'll be looking for something. I'll know where it is. I'll go into that room, or I'll go to that hall, or I'll go to the building, whatever. And then all of a sudden when I go in there, not only is it not there, but I'm actually somewhere else. And then it's like, fuck. So then I got to go, or I'll have one where like people are just chasing me and like I just can't get away. And it's just, I'm constantly running, running, running. So I'm wondering, since dreams came up, and maybe you don't because I'm putting you on the spot, this just kind of came to me. Do you guys have any sort of recurring dreams like that where it's sort of the same premise, the dream?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of dreams that I haven't dreamt in a long time. By the way, I don't know, like I don't dream as much anymore, and if I do, the ones that I remember is very very random, and it can be here, it can be a linear story, and then it can jump to another completely different setting and different people and jump around and all that stuff. But I used to have a
Saved you again.
recurring dream where
Sorry.
yeah, I knew that was gonna fall again.
That's recurring.
There's
That's a
a-
recurring dream.
Oh, that's the inception. That's the inception.
Keeps happening.
There's a part where in the dream where my family and I live on top of a very 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 tall cliff at the very peak, like almost like a triangle, and our house somehow balances on this little thing. And then how the dream goes is we're all suiting up with like parachute packs, and we're like, okay, time to get groceries, and then we just all jump out, and we jump, and so I'm free falling, and then I see the parachutes, and mine doesn't go off, and then I have that free falling feeling, and then I wake up, and then the first thing I always ask when I wake up is like, how do we get back up with the groceries? Like, what kind of fucking stupid dream scenario is that?
Dreams are
You just-
weird,
You
man.
keep falling and then you fall back from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayden, do you have one that's reoccurring?
I haven't had, like you said, Cha, I haven't had dreams in a very long time, or that I don't remember. But I had one the other night where I was like, I micro napped, but I had like pictures going in my head, and I was like, this never happens to me. I never remember that. But it was literally, Alex and I were on a ship, obviously in the ocean, and she went to the next room, and then we hit like turbulent seas, if you call it that, on the ocean, and the ship started going, swaying back and forth, and I literally felt like I was like sinking into the floor, and I couldn't move and I couldn't get to her. So that was there, and then I suddenly woke up, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And I was laying on the bed, and I never am like on the bed until it's time to sleep. So
Naked?
she was like,
Meanwhile, Alex is beside Hayden, just like rocking the
Pushing
fucking
me.
bed.
Yeah, she's like, "Wake up, wake up."
Yeah. Well, these seas are rough. Aye, aye, Captain. Starboard side.
So that was the
Crazy.
only thing, and it was terrible because I was like, I couldn't get to her. I was like, the ship is like in bad shape, and I can't get to her. That was like that was like my bad thing. But it wasn't real, so I was like, it's okay, it's not real.
It's never real. And you know what else? You know what is real? Is this show has to come to an end. And I think that now is a good time. And I just want to say, Hayden, thank you for coming with this topic because it was fun. What I didn't like about it is,
Yeah.
and this is a little bit of inside information, okay, people, is we each sort of come with a general topic that we want to discuss, and we get through as many of them as we can. Sometimes we'll jump from one to the other. Sometimes if one is flowing, we'll let it ride, or if it's maybe gone, a little bit longer and we don't have enough to fully get into the next topic, we'll just divert into dream conversations, whatever. So what really upset me is I had told you guys, and this was 2 weeks in a row, I'd said I was going to talk about procrastination. So this one is not my fault, okay, that I didn't get to it, because my topic was next and it was going to be procrastination. But Hayden and Xiao and I used up all the time, so we couldn't get to it. But we'll get to it next week. You probably don't believe me, but we will. But for today, we got to wrap things up. So as always, thanks for joining us. You can find us on social media. Chummy.thumbs TikTok, Chummy Thumbs Instagram, Chummy Thumbs X. And please, if you're enjoying the show, like and subscribe wherever you are. Leave us a review.
Yeah, let
That's
us
how
know
we
if you
let
guys
it
have
in.
any recurring dreams. We'd love to, dissect it for you and tell you what it means.
Yeah, we're dream analyzers. So if you do come to us with a recurring dream, email us at chummythumbs@gmail.com and we will give you the official review. But until then, and until next week,
Keep
on
thumbing.